One, two, three, four. You don't know what love is. So, if you noticed, I was taking a lot of liberties there on that melody. I've been so preoccupied trying to get the tech together, making these videos that, admittedly, I haven't been checking out the recordings as much as I'd like to, or as much as I plan to in future videos. But hopefully, that playthrough gives you an idea. I played the melody an octave up. You certainly could play it an octave lower, and it would sound great. I just felt like playing it up an octave. So let's start off with the chords, and then we'll talk about the melody a little bit, because the melody is a good way to get into soloing. So chords, melody, solos. So let's get to it. So let me get the extra page here. What we got? New window. Get my blank page here. Chord sheet. Splendid. Okay, so I'm going to start off super simple. I mean, you could probably look at my hands and guess a lot of the chords. If you have that chord boot camp sheet that I've handed out, that would also be helpful. So we'll get started here. But the first chord is F minor 7. Change the... I was playing that here. The shell voicing would be just the root, flat 7, and flat 3. You wouldn't play these 3 strings, so it'd be just a 3-note voicing. If you want, you can add the 5th note, and that would be more from the 2nd page from your chord sheet. You call that a drop 3 voicing. Okay, so interesting thing, if we zoom into the melody here, if you notice, that is the 9. So if you wanted to double the melody, you could put the 9 up top if you wanted. But, you know, it sounds just fine with the 3-note voicing, and that'll sound great. And sometimes if you aren't doubling the melody and the chord, that kind of gives whoever's playing the melody freedom to embellish. All right, D flat 9. D flat 9, this would be 4th fret. Root, 3rd, flat 3, 9. Pretty cool chord. If you want, you could put the 5th on top. I wasn't necessarily playing that. I was doing finger style and, you know, leave that top note for the melody because you have an A flat in the melody. So I just give that to the melody person. I try to, you know, when I can, whenever I'm playing chords and I can see the melody, I try to accommodate that, try to stay out of the way. C7 flat 9. Okay, now this is interesting because you could do a C7. I'll show you a C7 flat 9. Well, first off, we'll start with the C7. Shell voicing. That's 3rd fret. Root, 3rd, flat 7. Now, you could do flat 9. That's going to be your flat 9. You could also do I have any other colors over here? I'll just keep it with red. But you could also do sharp 9. And that creates a nice melody if you resolve it back to F minor, which most of the time at F or a C7 flat 9, that's a chord that's tonicizing a minor. So that's a cool thing you can do, right? So ba ba da 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 da. Yeah, that's a cool little melody you could do. You know, and as far as like the C7 flat 9 for this chord right here, that's not wrong. Oh, I dropped my pencil. Here we go. That chord right there, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, but you could also just play a C7 too there, and that'll work as well. You know, so just remember a good old campfire C7. Root, 3rd. Believe it or not, that's supposed to be an R. All right, 3rd, flat 7, root. And you take that up a half step, that gives you a D flat 7, okay? Now, G minor 7, flat 5. Sometimes you'll see this written as a G half diminished 7th. If you're doing a shell voicing, fun fact, super fun, since there's no 3rd in this voicing, it works for minor 7 as much as it does for a flat 7. So you could put there, that would be a minor 7. But since it's a flat 5, we would flat the 5, as the name would suggest. And this really pairs nicely with that C7 sharp 9, just flat 9 thing we were talking about. So that's a cool thing to have. I know it says F minor 6. you know, if we wanted to do that in this range, you could just play here and leave an open string. That would give you root 6, flat 3, 5. That will work. But, you know, in that context, and most of the time I play this on gigs, you know, a minor 6 chord is a beautiful sound, but a lot of times you can just get away with a regular minor 7. So I think that's pretty much what's going on there. That's all the chords you need for the open section, or the first section. And then we have a 2-5-1 and A flat. 2-5-1. So the A sections are kind of like F minor, right? And then to the bridge, it goes to the relative major. So A flat is the relative major of F minor. I think I said that right. It's kind of late. Try to knock these out when I can. So if I misspeak. So just how we were talking about the flat 5, this one, a minor 7 has a natural 5. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So root, flat 7, flat 3, 5. Okay? And then, if we're zooming in, yeah, E flat 7. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the fret there. That's the 6th fret. Also 6th fret. You could do this. And judging by the melody, yes, I forgot to mention that. So if you want to match the melody, you could put the note here, and that would give you an 11. That would be a B flat minor 11. And that goes with the melody. The melody is an E flat. If we did like a regular E flat 7, that works really nice with the melody too. Root 3rd, flat 7, root. And then A flat major 7. That would be the shell voicing. If you want to just do a simple 3-note voicing, that will sound just fine. But if you want to try something more, you can add the 5th on top. Okay? Let's see here. This camera's off just a hair. Let's try it. There we go. Now it's getting my hand. All right. You do that twice. I know there's an E flat sus4, so if I wanted to do, let's see, I'll rewrite this as an E flat 7 sus4. And what you would do is you would just replace the 3rd with the 4th. So that kind of works really nice with our B minor 11. So let's say we took a B minor 11 shape. All I got to do is move that middle finger, and that gives you an E flat 7 sus4. That's kind of nice having that common tone on top. As you acquire more voicings and stuff and you get more experience, the best people that I look up to in terms of like chording on piano, guitar, whatever instrument, you're having a conversation with the melody or the soloist. So being able to grab the chord notes, that's great. That's a good, important step. But eventually, so the top note can be having counter melodies and stuff like that. So just something to think about. And look, what do you know? If we go to D minor 7, the chord does say a D minor 7, but if we zoom in there, E over a D is the 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to give you a D minor 9 shape. Root, flat 3, flat 7, 9. This is the 5th fret. And here's a cool thing you can do. I'm going to show you a G13, which starts off just like your shell voicing for a G7, but the 13th is up top. 3rd, flat 7, root. And if you want to resolve that like with the melody, you could just make that would make a 7th. So I'm going to put that in blue. so you can differentiate. So kind of like what we were doing with the other, you know, you could do this with, I think the melody goes to a G. You could just go to a C major 7. And if I were to do a C major 7 shell voicing, that would be that, 3rd fret. You could also do that voicing, which, what do you know, I am out. So there you go. Look at that shape. I'm going to erase it real quick. A more standard voicing for that part of the neck would be this, C major 7. And that works too. That's a cool little melody up top. Da 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 da. And see at this point, so you do 2-5 to C, and then we're back to familiar waters. These are all chords that we've kind of D, C7 flat 9. See, looking through there, and those are all kind of chords that we've covered. So, so that takes care of the chords. I played through the melody. Hopefully that helps. You know, this time I'm going to play through the melody kind of an octave down, but I'm going to, as a first step to start soloing, we could really get into the particulars of, like, you know, what scales and all this stuff, and outlining the changes. And that's all well and good, but I find if you're just starting out, that stuff can be more overwhelming than it can be helpful. So that stuff can come later. For now, let's just talk about like the general, what we call key centers. So, so step 1, that we could think of this as F minor, right? Which is the same notes as A flat major, right? So I got rid of my scales there. Hold on a second. Oh, let me close this out. Let's go back to our chord sheet. So if I zoomed in here, there's your, you know, that would be F. Right out of the gate, you could get a lot of music done with just like a minor pentatonic scale, bluesing out kind of stuff. So, I mean, that would sound like, that D flat 7 kind of has that, you know, if you think about that D flat 7, it has that blue note in there. So look how cute this will be. I'm going to make the blue note blue. And that note is also over there. So, so let's think about that. So these, when you have a D flat 7, that can give you, use that note. So I'll try to demonstrate that. So everything's going to be kind of like minorish, but then when the D flat 7 or that kind of sound comes around, I'm going to use a blue note. That's a cool thing, you know. Just sixths. You know, I'm a ring finger on the G. I'm sorry, middle finger on the G, ring finger on the high E. So. So that's a good place to start. Another thing that you can think about is, let me see if I can figure out how to get another. Give me a second while Millennial tries to figure out some technology here. Is there a way to duplicate this? Yes, there is. Splendid. Change the color. I feel like Bob Ross. Oh, what color can I do right now? I'm gonna do, oh, that's really, let's do green. Yeah, happy trees. Okay. So we have kind of like the outline, the F minor pentatonic. And while I'm at it, I feel like I should just go ahead and add the notes of F minor. You can use the open string there. So that's the full scale. All right. And then if you want, there's another thing you could do for the C7. You could use F harmonic minor. So that in this case, that's going to be C, D, E, sorry, D flat. I'm not thinking right here, sorry. I was writing, starting from C. So here's F harmonic minor, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat. It would normally have an E flat if it was F natural minor, but if we're going to do harmonic minor, we raise the 7th. And that's the note right there I want to bring attention to. If I could, my marker would work. There we go. It gets weird. Finding out that this iPad's weird if I get too close to the edge. All right, to the edge, man. Too close to the edge, man. So that note is in C. So if I had a C7 chord, that's C, E, G, B flat. If you want to put the flat 9 on there, let's throw D flat there. So each one of these notes exists in F minor except this E. So hence it's a borrowed scale or borrowed sound, right? Sorry to get super heavy with the theory, but all that means is that the E's become, E flats become E sharp, or E sharps, E naturals. So you could also think about whenever this, the D flat to C comes around, that C chord, maybe you could throw in an E natural. Here's that D flat. Here comes the C7. All right, and then we go to the bridge. You can just think an A flat major. And then when it goes to this is in C major. It's a 2-5 to C. And then now it's going back to F minor. That E natural again. Right? So hopefully that's enough to get you in the game. How are we doing on time here? 23 minutes, great. Let's talk about those other scales I was doing in the bridge. So, obviously you want to learn this in all parts of the neck, but that's maybe not super realistic starting, right? So if we're just thinking pure survival, let's just talk about where we're going to play those other scales, right? So if we want to go to A flat major, yes, we could just stay in this spot of the neck of this. There's nothing wrong with it. That is A flat. Those notes will work over. Those are all the notes in those chords belong to A flat major. So you could just play an A flat major and it'll sound good. I found myself, I don't know, for some reason I wanted to go to the fourth pattern 4. So if you remember, that's going to be E shape. Is that right? Yep. I'll draw a little blue line around the roots. So those are kind of like your home base. And then if it goes to C, this is a 4th fret, by the way. If we want to stay in that same part of the neck, we can go to C, and that's going to be A shape. Kind of learning as I go here. I think it's better to make the roots red. I also think I might be overthinking this. But, you know, job's worth doing. It's worth doing right, I guess. All right. There you go. Man, I am really starting to feel like Bob Ross. The Bob Ross of scale diagrams. All right. 3rd fret. So if I'm doing, if I'm going back to the, so ba da da da, you do your A flat major. And then at that point it goes to D flat 7. You kind of remember, like, you know, that's where you can blues out, right? Because you it's in that chord, right? And then you got the E and that. So one more time on the bridge. D flat 7. Sorry. You know, sometimes you just want to play. Okay, so what did we cover here? We covered the chords that we played through it. We covered chord shapes you can do. We played through the tune. Talked about some basic soloing strategies. So maybe just to wrap it up, I'm just going to take a solo through the course, and then, yeah, that'll be a good half hour here. So hopefully this helps. Any questions, let me know. All right. From the top, I'm going to start off with the melody. You know, that's always my first step, you know, my first stop. I always go to the melody. If I don't know what to solo, the melody will give you some ideas. And I just try to, like, play around that, you know, maybe change up the rhythm, maybe add a note above or below once you kind of come to a note that's being held out. You know, have fun with it. And then if you get tired of that, then you can break away and then just kind of explore the sound of the key, right? And then that's a good place to start. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will bid you adieu. So that, a cool chord to end is a minor 6/9 chord. And where it gets its name, as you might have guessed, it has the 6 and the 9 in it. There's a lot of ways to phrase it. I'll show you a couple voicings that work real nice. Work really nice. All right, so here's one up here. F minor 6/9 here, something like this. So that'd be the root, flat 7, flat 3, 6, and the 9. That's kind of a cool sound. And then another, if you want to go up the neck, root, flat 3, 6, 9. Basically, this, just in the string set. If you want it to be just a regular 6 minor 6 chord, you could do just, if I find the right color. So that would be just the 6 minor 6. At any rate, get my face up here, so I don't have to keep ducking around. All right, so I hope some of that helps you. Shoot me an email. Maybe write a comment on the video. I'm just making these for the students. Maybe someday I'll show these to more people, but right now I'm just doing this to help you out. Since I don't get to spend as much time with each individually as I'd like to in class, so I thought maybe this be a good way to solve that for my current students and students to come. So hope this helps. Hope you have some fun, and we'll see you around.